The Annuity Man live event is starting soon. Bring your questions. You buy an annuity for the will do not might do. Brutal honesty about annuities. The Annuity Man. The Annuity Man. The Annuity Man.
Hey there, Stan the Annuity Man. Annuity Man Live. Another event, another month, never having fun. This is a free-for-all. Don't really have any agendas to cover or any specifics to cover. I'll kind of riff, as you know that I always will. Put your questions in. We'll take them one at a time. We'll do it as long as you want to do it. Couple shout-outs initially. Behind the camera, as you know, if you've been with us before, it's the Crying Hawaiian, the Zeke the Marketing Freak. Got his board shorts on, got his flip-flops on. He's in character, but he runs the show behind the scenes. So thanks to Zeke. Couple things that if you don't know about us, we are the largest fixed annuity sellers on the planet. Obviously in the United States, not even close. I'm the number one agent in the country. Proud of that because we do it the right way. We only look at annuities for what they will do, not what they might do. We're headquartered in Las Vegas, Nevada, which is kind of funny because we take no risk, and this city's all about risk. But the reason we chose here is we're open 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday, 8 hours on Saturday, so that's 68 hours if you're doing the math. That's unmatched as well. Everybody in my office licensed in all 50 states, and they are not on commission, which means they're not a hammer looking for a nail. They're looking to help you. We have kind of a communal business model where everybody is working with everyone else on the cases to make sure they go smoothly, to make sure the apps go smoothly, to work with the carriers on your behalf. So that it's a turnkey approach if you do decide to use this. And we would love to have you as a client. But my thing out here and what I try to do is educate and entertain at the same time. I'm not in love with any product. I'm not in love with any carrier. I don't care about the brochure. I don't care about the logo. I don't go on any incentive trips. Don't care at all. It's all about the highest contractual guarantee that we can find by shopping all carriers. And it's really that simple. You own an annuity for what it will do, not what it might do. And annuities solve for four things. The acronym is PIL. Principal Protection, Income for Life, Legacy, and Long-Term Care is what that stands for. And we ask two questions to every single person. In fact, I just walked down the hall of our huge office, and I ran into a guy and said, hey, I'm going to ask you two questions. No, I didn't. But if I did, the two questions would be, what do you want the money to contractually do, and when do you want those contractual guarantees to start? It's really that simple. We'll tell you if you don't need an annuity. As my grandfather said, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. A little bit about me, if you don't know, been married 38 years to the Queen, Christine. I got two daughters, 30 and 28. I got a grandson. I grew up in North Carolina. I played college basketball. Both of my parents were college basketball coaches. And my first job out of college was Dean Witter because they sponsored my college basketball tournament, and that was it. I don't know. I guess they said, I guess he could do it. I don't know. But I've been in the financial services business my whole life, been doing this for decades, and love the life insurance side because life insurance companies issue annuities. It's kind of a wild time out there with at the time of this taping, obviously artificial intelligence is kind of driving the train, all these data centers. I'm trying to figure out how they're all going to make a profit, but that's not on me, that's on them. But the market's doing great. But regardless of that, a chapter 2 of your life, you have to look at putting in the income floors, putting in the guarantees for you. I'm getting a lot of questions somehow about, hey, Stan, you talk about annuities all the time. What do you do with your own personal money? And after this, we'll go to questions. But my own personal money, I don't do markets anymore. I was with Dean Witter, Payne Weber, Morgan Stanley, UBS, worked on the street, worked in New York, worked everywhere, and left there to come out here because I thought there was a demographic tidal wave of people looking for contractual guarantees and wanted to do direct-to-consumer, and the pioneer of that, also the pioneer of contractual guarantees only. But my background is Wall Street, and in my opinion, you never buy an annuity for growth. You buy an annuity for what it will do, the contractual guarantees. And unfortunately, this industry is all about pitching growth and potential, and I still haven't figured out why. And we are the only ones out there. If I don't, we have a few people that try to compete with us, but they're all selling index annuities and things like that, and we just don't do that. Now, we use index annuities to deliver income riders for lifetime income, but we could care less about the caps, spreads, participation rates. It's a non-event. It's just a delivery system for the income riders. So, that's a little bit about me. Grew up in rural North Carolina. That's it. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm doing this. The reason I'm doing this is truly to try to change the industry. And a couple of announcements that are cool. We have a new website coming out in about a month. You're gonna trip out. It's contrarian to say the least. And I am writing the Annuities Manifesto 2, which should be out next year. And for all my clients, you're going to get a free copy. Hopefully, you'll be a client. I'll give you a free copy. But it's just an updated version of a book that I wrote a long time ago called the Annuities Manifesto. One last thing about me, I'm a frustrated guitar player. Typically, I have a guitar around me at all times in case I get to noodle around with it, and that's kind of the reason for the intro music, which it is what it is. And I do write a lot of books. I write a lot of books under a pen name that I'm never going to give you, just because that's what I do. I'm creative, and so between that, the music, and this. So with that, Zeke, you ready for questions? We're going to jump in. We got a few queued up. All right, we're going to put them on the screen. I'll read them out. So for people that are listening to the replay of this and walking down the street, they can listen. So let's do that. This is from Beth Kaufman, 6487. Hi, Stan. Are riders automatically included in some MYGAs, or do we have to approve them prior to purchase? The riders on MYGAs are not income riders. Income riders are attached to index annuities, RILAs, and variable annuities. We don't sell RILAs or variable annuities because I don't sell anything that doesn't have a guaranteed return, and those aren't guaranteed. The riders I think Beth is talking about, there are some, if you go to my MYGA feed at theannuityman.com, and by the way, while we're there, you can run quotes 24/7, 365. You can see live MYGA feed. You can download my 6 owner's manuals that I've written. In the future, you'll be able to download the Annuities Manifesto 2 when I publish it. But she's talking about riders. There are some MYGAs that are what I call lock and load MYGAs, which you're not able to take out interest, etc. So if you wanted to take out interest, you would buy a rider. To do that, it would lower the yield. Or if you wanted some of them, you have to buy a death benefit rider for if you died, there was no surrender charges on the death benefit. 99% of MYGAs don't have those type of riders. Just there's a few that do have those riders, and if they are available, we'll tell you that on the illustration. We'll show you that. Very transparent with everything. But we represent all carriers. And by the way, I had a call this morning. Someone ran a income rider quote, and there was a company at the top, and he goes, well, why wouldn't we do that one? I said, first of all, it's not A+ or better. A+ or better for lifetime income, no exceptions with us. And also, I had a call recently about a specific company that they wanted to buy on the MYGA feed, and I'm not recommending it. And they're like, well, why did you put it on the MYGA feed? It's because I'm Stan the Annuity Man. I'm America's annuity agent. We're licensed in all 50 states and Puerto Rico, and I want to show people what's there. But the trifecta, I call it the Annuity Man trifecta, is, we figure out what you need by answering the 2 questions, and then we shop all carriers. We look at the highest guarantee. And then the last leg of the trifecta is me. It's me telling you, no, we don't recommend this. Yes, we do recommend this. And it's more than just financials. There's a couple of companies on my MYGA feed currently that are A-rated, so financially I really like what they're doing. But administratively, they could be the worst companies to work with on the planet. I'm just not going to do that to my clients. So one of them is taking 60 to 90 days to process the paper. That's just unacceptable to us. And I warned the people when we first put them on the board after I did my financial analysis. I said, the last analysis I'm doing, I can't do until we do business with you, and that's you getting the paperwork through for my clients. And I have a full staff here, of the biggest staff in the country in the annuity space. I'm not going to tell you how many because that's competitive information, but it's an office full, and we're all under one roof in Vegas. There's no remote people that work for me, never will have that. But my team came to me and said they just will not process it fast enough. So we pulled them, and there's actually 2 A-rated MYGA companies on my feed that we're not recommending now, not because of the financials, because they are horrific to work with, and it takes forever to either get money in or get money out. Don't understand that, but I guess it's tough to hire out there, but it is what it is. So I hope that answered your question, Beth. Next one, let's see what we got. I stand, Beth. Come on out, Beth. We're going to give you a quota here in a second. I've invested MYGAs through a non-IRA account, non-qualified checking account type money. How difficult is it? What are the requirements to liquidate the funds and invest through an IRA? Either way, it doesn't matter. IRA, Roth IRA, non-qualified, non-IRA. I mean, my team handles that from start to finish. We are the squeaky wheel. We will take care of it for you. We will call the carrier for you. We will do it exactly how you want it to get done. It's typically quick, regardless of the accounts, because it's not their money, it's your money. And if we have to remind the carrier that, we do remind them of that. I had a call this morning. The guy goes, I went ahead and called the carrier to check on the policy. I said, well, how did that go? He goes, well, I was on the hold for like 45 minutes. I'm like, please let us do that for you. I mean, because of who we are and the status and how much we sell and all that stuff, I mean, we have the red phone. We can go straight up the chain. They will answer our phone call. They have people dedicated to the Annuity Man, and we can get it done. I mean, don't be a cowboy or a cowgirl. Don't do it yourself. We will do it for you. We don't charge for that administrative support, and you want that, especially with like MYGAs or income riders where you have dates that the income's going to turn on. We track that for you. We're going to call you 60 days prior to that date to make sure that you're still raring to go and you want the money to hit a specific bank account. My teams in place have been doing it a long time. They're all licensed. They have to be licensed. For you to talk to somebody about annuities, they have to be licensed in your state. No exceptions. It's illegal if they're not doing that. So heads up on that one. If you going into a call center, which we're not that, because everything comes to one building under one roof. So next one. Let's see what we got. Andy Donahue. I'm assuming that's your name. 5850, if it was like, what was the Van Halen's album? What was Van Halen's album, Zeke? You don't remember? Zeke's young. He didn't know who Van Halen is. Why do MYGA providers offer contract renewals at way below current market rates? It would be easier to renew, but not an option given lower rates. Man, I am so glad you asked that question. I actually did a video on that recently, and it's going to post here pretty soon and the title was Why MYGA Carriers Companies Want It to Renew. Okay. Again, life insurance companies that issue annuities and they issue MYGAs, they have the big buildings for a reason. One of them is they know where you're going to die. But MYGA renewals, the reason that it's so low is they want you to forget about it. They want your agent to forget about it. They want it to renew at a low level, like 4% or 3% or 2%. I've even seen renewals at 1%. They want it to happen. Now, they're just playing the numbers game. In the annuity industry, the average length of an agent or advisor in the business is around 5 years. It's kind of like small business, Within 5 years, 80% of the people that start a business go out of business. It's the same type of stat for annuity agents. So there's a lot of annuity agents that sold a lot of stuff that then got out of the business, and now they're like a manager at Buc-ee's, and you're on your own. For us, and we manage multiple billions of dollars of MYGAs, we've never had one slip through the cracks. Why? Because we're technology driven. I've got the gentleman who runs this company is an ex-Google executive. When he came here and I brought him here, he couldn't even spell annuity. I didn't care. I just make this efficient, make this sharp, make this, a technology company that can really support the clients. So we never let that happen. We just never let that happen. But a lot of times it does happen, and it's not like the annuity companies want it. They're like, boy, we really wish that no one calls and we just renew it at this low level. No, but they're okay if it happens. But so it's somewhat part of a weird, non-talked about business model, in my opinion. No one's ever validated that to me and verified it. But, when you can get the same duration at 200 basis points, 2% or more on, by just going to my site and looking at a different carrier, and compare that to the low renewal rate, it's a head scratcher. Like, why would they do that? Why would they do that? That's why they do it. I'll give you another one. I'll knock you out. Income riders attached to index annuities. Again, we don't care about the index annuities. We only care about the contractual guaranteed income riders. Last stat I saw was 60% of people with income riders never turn them on. You talk about a profitable product. So income riders have a fee every year for the life of the policy. It's taken out of the index side. Who cares? It's a net transaction to you. Once again, we don't have people that don't turn on the income riders. We tell them to turn them on because that's the value proposition of the whole thing. You're transferring the risk for lifetime income. But think about that. 60% of the people don't turn it on. And I've got theories on that. Number one, I think people just either forget about it or was missold the product. With these income riders, they have these roll-up rates, similar to Social Security, where Social Security grows by 8% as long as you defer it up 70, similar to income riders. And I think a lot of agents missell it and tell people that they're getting 8% or 9% yield, and they truly believe it. So they're looking at their statement, they're like, look at how much it's growing, Martha. That's monopoly money, unless you turn it on. So that's another one that it's one of those unspoken business models with life insurance companies. You say, Stan, why did you leave Wall Street for life insurance companies? Because this is the safest place for your money. I know what I was going to tell you before about where do I put my personal money. It's MYGAs. The annuity, people ask me that all the time. The annuity industry, I think they're sitting on a product that no one really understands. I call MYGAs annuity bonds because I used to manage bonds at a very high level with Morgan and Dean Witter, Weber, UBS, so I understand them. But these are annuity bonds. You're buying paper. You're buying the paper of the carrier. And where my personal money is in the Queen Christine are in MYGAs because, we don't need to be in the market. And people say, why aren't you in the market? Because the Annuity Man company, which is owned by myself and my wife, it's the best growth stock on the planet. It makes NVIDIA look like a dividend stock. I mean, we are growing by leaps and bounds. So I don't need to do anything in the markets. This is the market product. So the safe money goes to MYGAs because it's all non-qualified money and non-IRA checking account type money. So the interest grows and compounds tax deferred. We just keep rolling it. So that's where my personal money is, just because, as Warren Buffett said a long time ago, rule number one, never lose money. Rule number two, don't forget rule number one. And coming from rural North Carolina, no money, you have what my wife calls the scars of scarcity. We've all been to a place where you didn't have any money. I literally did a video the other day talking about, I'm not going to get into it because I'll start crying again, but I literally cried on the video because it was a scar. The time that I came home early in our marriage and our two-year-old daughter, we didn't have baby food and my wife was crying and we didn't have any money. And, I've been on commission. I was on commission with Dean Witter. I've never had a salary in my life. And so I just ran out to the store and bought all the baby food they had with whatever was left on my credit card. But to this day, that upsets me. And I talked about it the other day on the video. Zeke was looking at me. There's like tears running down my face because it still left a scar. And a lot of us, have made it and we're comfortable now, but we still have a spending problem from those scars of scarcity. So I'm working on the spending problem. My wife is certainly working on the spending problem. But a lot of you probably need to do that too. Stop threading the needle and clipping coupons. I know that's what you've done your whole life. But there's 3 phases of retirement: go, slow go, and no go. And you're in go, so better enjoy it. Next question, Zeke. Zeke seems melancholy today. He was telling me the other day that at McDonald's in Hawaii, they have a breakfast sandwich with Spam in it. Because Hawaiians, for whatever reason, are crazy about their Spam. I don't know what that is. That Genesis comes from, like when the military was over there and they shared Spam with the Hawaiian people? I don't know. But I'm not going to go get a breakfast sandwich with Spam in it. I'm just going to tell you right now. Are annuities safer than bank CDs? Good question. My opinion, FDIC is the best coverage you can ever get. F stands for federal. F stands we're going to freaking come and tax your money to get the money to cover FDIC coverage. So I would say FDIC. But I'll tell you what, MYGAs run a close second. And what I like about the MYGA, I call them now annuity bonds. They're annuity CDs, but they actually kind of act like bonds as well. I like them because the underlying value never changes. You know, if you ever bought bonds before and you get your statement after you bought the bonds, they're AAA bonds, you get the statement and the underlying value is just it's significantly lower, and you're like, what in the world happened? I just bought these things. Well, you know, it's tradable. There's more bonds than there are stocks. I mean, so that fluctuation was always tough in the bond world to explain to clients. But, you know, MYGAs don't have that underlying fluctuation, which is kind of cool. Are they safer than CDs? I'm going to say no. But boy, it's close. It really is. And I tell people that with MYGAs, we're dating the company. So my evaluation recommendation is going to be, can they back up the claim for that specific duration? And right now, there's times that we'll recommend a B++ or A- company for a specific duration because I've looked at the financials and I recommend and sign off on it. By the way, in the last 30 years, I'm batting 1,000. But for lifetime income, it's A+ or better. We don't even play around with that one, primarily because artificial intelligence is going to change the game on life expectancy tables. It's going to lengthen it out. So you're going to need an A+ or better carrier to back up the claim. You really are. Someone asked me this morning, well, Stan, you know, should I move this A+ carrier to a mutual company? And I went, no. And he goes, well, what happens if they go out of business? I said, hug your loved ones. It's a wrap. It's over. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Well, it could happen. No, it's not. Just not. Next question. Your intro music sounded great again, Stan. You know what? You're right. I'm going to give credit on that one to Zeke. Zeke, the marketing freak, the crying Hawaiian, Mr. Hawaii, number 7 in your program, number 1 in your heart. He was a quarterback in high school. All the girls loved him. I mean, he was. I'm just going to go out. I'm going to give you a picture real quick. He was about 40 pounds lighter, lean. You know, prosperity has caught up with Zeke. I think he has 3 Teslas. He pulls up in a new Tesla the other day. And of course, he has the covered parking spot, which I give him because he's important. I'm like, Zeke, how many Teslas you got, man? Well, I like Teslas. Okay, I'm down with that, man. You know, he loves his Teslas. You know, he's one of those guys. Thanks for the intro music. That's Zeke. He put it together. I'm a rocker. I mean, I like rock and roll. One of these days I'll tell you the music story that no one knows, but not today. But I am involved in music. I do like music. Next. Gary Harry 1 2 3. Gary Harry 1 2 3. Gary Harry 1 2 3. 3 2 1 1 2 3. If you already have a MYGA with a 10% withdrawal provision, can you take that money out and roll it into a Roth and do a conversion? How will that work if you can't? I guess you can. We're not big proponents of Roth IRAs. I'm not putting them down because I think 20% of people in the country have a Roth IRA. I don't have a Roth IRA. I never will have a Roth IRA. I'm not going to eagerly and proactively pay the government upfront taxes and then trust them to not change the rules. And I know you're saying, Stan, you're such a conspiracy theorist. Of course it's going to work out. And you're right, it probably will be. And you'll probably be grandfathered in. But with $40 trillion in debt, I'm waiting for the politician to stand up and say, everyone, I found out about these Roth IRAs. Peter Thiel, the billionaire, has a $5 billion Roth IRA, and all of that money's coming out tax-free. And that's not fair. Now, they're going to leave out the part that you had to pay all the upfront taxes, and there's a break-even point. But, hey, it's politics. They're trying to get votes. The answer to your question, yeah, you can. My question is, why would you? With Roth IRAs, you know, annuities are math. So, and Roth IRAs are math, meaning that run the number. If the number makes sense to you, fine. You know, if you're doing a Roth IRA for legacy, fine. I get that. But run the number to see if it makes sense for you. But just don't say, well, I'm going to get tax-free income over here, son. That's what I'm going to do with this Roth. hey player, you're paying so much upfront in taxes. Run the number to see if it works for you. I'm sure Gary Harry 123 has done that, and that's fine. Yes, you can do that. We can help you with that, but we don't actively promote Roths for the reasons I just told you. I just don't trust the government, man. I remember, I'm old enough to remember. By the way, I got cowboy boots older than most advisors. I've been doing this a long time. But I remember when we're never going to tax Social Security. We're never going to do that. And now I'm hearing that Roth IRA distributions are going to be counted toward IRMA and IRMA. Hope that's not true. But again, politicians, come on, man. I mean, they're going to find a way. They're going to find a way. But I hope that the people with Roths are going to be grandfathered in so that the new rules and the new means testing that's eventually going to come will be not include you. So, next question. Retirement income expert, David Blanchett. David's been on my podcast, man. I like David. He's a good dude, smart. My podcast, Fun with Annuities, which I've kind of taken a little bit of a hiatus there. I'm releasing some things every 2 weeks, but I think we're going to get back to doing guests, which is cool. MYGAs should be so that purchasers of MYGAs should reach for the highest possible yield, regardless of the insurance company rating. I don't know. I need to call David and say what? Part of him's correct. I mean, we list all of them from B plus on, and I think what he's really trying to say. Don't want to speak for him. I hate when people say that. I take that back. I'm guessing what he's referring to is if you purchase it under your specific state guarantee fund, the history of state guarantee funds paying all the money back to the people has been 100%. He might be saying it under that premise. I think he is. And we do that. When people say, well, Stan, I just want the highest one on the board, and I got X amount. If X amount's over their state guarantee fund, I'll say, hey, let's split it just to make sure. As my Uncle Max used to walk into the family reunion wearing a belt and suspenders, just in case you have that person in your family. We'll do that. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to protect your hard-earned money. I mean, this isn't a game. This isn't a movie. I mean, I haven't needed the money for 15 years. I'm out here just to change the industry. Because for whatever reason, and I haven't figured this out, how can the annuity industry have the only product strategy that pays a lifetime income stream, the only one, and has a fixed rate that's unmatched? And how can then people continue to say, I hate annuities? One of the biggest marketing disasters from the industry ever. And I've told them that. Amiri, just let me handle the marketing. All you be quiet. Let me handle the marketing. Because they just keep messing it up. And annuities have a monopoly on lifetime income. And everybody already loves Social Security. But I seem to be the only one out here saying, well, you already own an annuity. It's called Social Security. But, man. Next. Hey, Wendy. How are you? You look happy. Wendy's like a person that wakes up in the morning and is like, man, it's a great day. I wake up in the morning and I'm going, this coffee sucks. And it's good. I mean, I'm just, I'm one of those pessimistic realists, that way. My wife's like, come on. Is there any reason to get an annuity if I have more monthly retirement income than I can spend? I save more than half of my income each month. Probably not. I mean, there's 4 annuity types. There's like 8+ annuity types, depending on how you count them. There's 4 types that provide lifetime income. You don't need any of them. I mean, period. The only thing I would tell you is if you're like a CD buyer or money market, a MYGA might fit just because it protects the principal. You get an interest rate out of it, but you don't have to take it out. You just let it grow and compound. So for you, Wendy, I would just say probably not, but the only strategy that would be suitable for you would be a multi-year guarantee annuity, CD annuity, annuity bond is what I call that would be the only one. But you've done well. As I say, you've won the game. No reason to play. Don't buy any complicated products. Don't be convinced by potential. MYGAs are guaranteed interest rates, but no, you don't. If you have more monthly retirement income than you can spend, then my comment as your annuity life coach is to say, try to spend more, live life. You've probably scrimped and saved like everyone, like me too. Live your life. Go do things. As I say, fly first class, or your children will. Right? My daughter in Philadelphia, yeah, that's it. Might well, the other daughter in Denver, yeah. They're flying first class. They've been living under the umbrella of capitalism that I'm not going to say eagerly, but I've worked hard to provide. So, one of them, I'm not going to mention, one just thinks I'm a capitalist pig, horrific figure of life. And that might be true. From a look standpoint, it probably is. But she's not. She's one of these people that's lived underneath capitalism and just goes, capitalism. Like, come on, man. So, but she's my daughter, and I love her, and I'm going to take care of her, and I'm a bad parent for that, but it is what it is. Next. Jazzy. Hey, you know what's interesting about the 888, Zeke? Is that's my favorite number sequence. And you've seen some of the shirts I've made. It's got 888 on it. And this is true, Jazz. My car that I drive, and it's a Z. There's a good story behind that. The license plate is Z-888. Seriously. Great story about the Z. I'll get to your question. So when I was in high school, I wanted a Datsun 240Z. Remember those? That was a chick magnet car. Not that I wasn't a chick magnet, but I mean, that's the car I wanted. So I go to my dad, the great Santini, tough guy. Hey, Dad, I want this car. He's like, you've lost your mind. Well, 45 years later, I get to buy it, and I bought it. So I drive a Nissan Z. They don't make 240Zs anymore, but that's my license plate, Z888. Is there a downside? Is there a downside to Midland National FIA fixed index annuity with income rider and a 2-year point-to-point? Oh boy, have you been sold the crap. Midland's a great company. They're owned by Salmons Financial. Their sister company is North American. They're A+ rated. The index annuity with income rider is good if you need income in the future. If you're looking for market growth, you're never going to get it. The 2-year point-to-point is a piece of crap, garbage. All of the index option choices, there's 800 plus. They're all designed to get you 2 to 4%. If you're going into an index annuity thinking you're going to get market returns that you were shown by Johnny Appleseed agent, you are the sucker at the table. It's not going to happen. Index annuities are a bad CD product. We use them, in this case, to deliver the income rider guarantee. If you answered the 2 questions, what do you want the money to contractually do? And you said lifetime income. When do you want it to start? And you said like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. But for you to add the 2-year point-to-point, you're wasting your time. Colossal waste of time. And I am the only person in the world that'll tell you that. And I'm right. I'm right. My challenge if there's any agents or advisors on here, get off the call. Stop wasting my time. Or email me, Stan at the Annuity Man, and I can do a one-on-one with you. But don't take up consumer time here. Plus, you should be working and trying to compete. Good luck. There's just so much nonsense. Never buy non-guaranteed returns. If anyone pitches you something that sounds good, just look at them in the face and go, is that guaranteed? Is that contractually guaranteed? That's a yes or no answer. And if they go, well, no, there's no well. Yes or no? Well, no, there's no huh. No, it's not. And by the way, index annuity companies can change the rules on how the gains are calculated at their discretion. That's like Joe Biden. He used to be like mid-sentence and he'd be go, did I just do a Joe Biden? Zeke's tripping. Yeah, I just used to love that. Listen, I'm not political. I'm contractual, okay? But I used to love when Joe Biden be on a roll and be like, and this and that. And you're like, what? And I just did that. Maybe that's me transitioning into seniorhood. That's not Robin Hood, Zeke. That's seniorhood. So Jazz 888, there's a downside if you look at the indexed options and think you're going to get real market growth, and you're the sucker at the table. If you're buying it for the income rider guarantee for future income, pension, money you can never outlive, lifetime income, you need to shop all carriers. They're a great carrier, but you shop all carriers for lifetime income for the highest number and A+ or better. It's that simple. I did it again, Zeke. I did it again. I want to Biden and roll. Next. Last year, Mary, how are you? Last year, my 64-year-old husband, why'd you have to throw him under the bus like that? Why not? Last year, I'm gonna rephrase this for you, okay? Last year, my young, vibrant, happy, giving, loving husband bought a deferred indexed annuity for $100,000 and a previous one for $150,000 and didn't know about you. Sorry. Listen, it's all good. It's all good. And I'll tell you this, we have now started to accept agent of record changes. Meaning, if you want me to be your agent of record, it's one page, I can become your agent of record. I don't get anything out of it from a revenue standpoint, but I get to make sure you don't make mistakes. And you can, if you got a bad one, you can make lemonade. So you can contact me, Stan at the Annuity Man, for that. Okay, didn't know about you. He's 401k money. I recently learned about QLACs. Is there more to that, Zeke? And I'm wondering if he should have bought QLACs instead. Maybe. Let me tell you about QLACs. QLACs are a lifetime income product using your traditional IRA, 401k-ish, the 403b, 457, qualified. Current time of this taping, the current limitation is $210,000 per person per. You and your husband could each have one if you each have an IRA, and you can set it up joint. You can set it up if you die early, the money goes to the family. But it's a lifetime income stream that you can turn on soon, or you can wait to age 85. But the key with the QLAC is that that amount of money is not used to calculate in the calculation for your required minimum distribution. So you get a lifetime income stream. You get to pay less in RMD taxes on your RMDs, and when the lifetime stream turns on from the QLAC, it fully covers and satisfies that amount in the QLAC, and you can use any overage for non-annuity assets. In my opinion, if the person that sold these to your husband did not bring up a QLAC, then that's financial malpractice. We always talk about fiduciary. What's a fiduciary? Fiduciary is putting your best interest ahead of agent advisor. To me, you don't need a plaque on the wall for that. You either do that voluntarily, you're doing the right thing, or you don't. But if this person did not even talk about QLACs, then that's a problem. And the reason they probably didn't is the indexed annuity is 2.5 times commission built. Commissions are built in, but it's 2.5 times the commission for the indexed annuity. I'm not putting them down. It's just reality. That's the reason. If you go to the bank or the seminar or whatever, everyone's selling indexed annuities. You guys say, well, is it that good, or is there a catch? There's a catch. It's the highest commission products out there. And then they'll talk about bonuses, which I call candy for the stupid, because there's 100 pennies on the dollar. It's not 100 pennies plus the bonus. So just, to me, I would like to talk to you possibly if there's some wiggle room to at least look at a QLAC. The problem is you're kind of buried in the indexed annuities because of the surrender charges. And to move from one lifetime income product to another, it has to be in your favor at the new one. It has to be higher contractually. And the problem with income riders, which is what your loving husband bought, income riders aren't transferable. That's not real money. That's monopoly money. It's also not covered by the state guarantee fund. Hello. Nobody tells you that. So it's worth a conversation. I'm not going to put a square peg in a round hole. I'm going to tell you the truth, but it's worth a conversation. Next. I'll tell you, that's a good question, David. I appreciate that. Why are financial advisors against annuities? Well, having worked for Dean Witter, Payne Weber, UBS, and Morgan Stanley, the reason that they're advised not to talk about annuities is that you cannot charge a fee, like an ongoing fee for an annuity. And if you do, you should lose your license. because their contractual guarantees are turnkey. That's the reason Vanguard got out of the annuity business, is because they want to charge a fee. I think that's one of the worst decisions the Vanguard CEO ever made. He came in and goes, I don't know why anyone would buy an annuity. I'm thinking, okay. I mean, he's made me a ton of money when they got out of the business. Now you have, and I love, by the way, have an account at Vanguard, love the low fees on the mutual funds, love it. And then the other big firms kind of nibble around annuities. They offer some carriers. I think carriers had to pay kind of a shelf space. That's what I've been told. But the reason that financial advisors are, first of all, they don't know what they're talking about. Most of them just think an annuity is a single premium immediate annuity, and if you die, money goes poof. They're just so uneducated, along with most financial journalists, that for them to comment on it, they need to just stop. It'd be like me commenting on ballet. I know I've been to a ballet, but I don't know a thing about it. They don't know a thing about it, but I think the underlying reason is that they can't charge a fee on it, and it's not movable. If you sell an immediate annuity or a QLAC or deferred income annuity, or in essence an income rider, if you're buying pension products like that for lifetime income, they can't move it to do more revenue. And also, too, I think a lot of financial advisors that's been in this bull market for a while, they just see no need for contractual guarantees because everything goes up. Now, the interesting part about that, I've seen 3 market corrections. When I first started, I saw a firm below me right at the crash. I saw an agent get shot. Underneath me, but he got shot and killed by a client. I've seen markets go down. And everything goes in cycles, and I hope this doesn't happen this time. I'm hoping AI is the difference. But there's going to come a point in time that all this money being spent on AI and these big data centers, you got to make money eventually, right? But that's why advisors don't like them. They can't manage it. They can't control it. They can't charge a fee for it. Even though this is the crazy, annuities can make you a better investor, because if you put in the income floor with lifetime income products, or if you don't need that type of income, you just buy MYGAs and peel off the interest. If you have that income floor in place, then you don't have to disrupt your investments. Now, your advisor would say, well, just let me manage the investments and I'll just peel off 4% and that'll be your income. Well, that's cavalier. My question to Johnny Advisor is, all right, so what happens the year it goes down 20%? You're going to take 24% out? Boy, you're going to have to have a really good year 2. Doesn't work. Don't work mathematically. It's been disproved across the board as a joke. But that's the reason. They feel like they can do better. They don't want to charge a fee. They don't understand them. When you buy an immediate annuity, like for lifetime income, it's a wrap. It's coming. It's an irrevocable lifetime income stream, and it's assets they can't get to and charge a fee for. Been there, been on that side of the table, and heard those regional vice presidents come in and tell us that. So that's the reason. Next question, can you have a life insurance and annuity at the same time? Yes, you can. Like me, I got a huge term life insurance policy. I'm not a big fan of index universal life or whole life or anything like that. I know the sales pitch, well, this is what the Rockefellers used, and you can take out tax-free income. No, that's a loan. That's not tax-free income. There's a lot of bad sales pitches on that side. But life insurance for us, I have a level term policy on me, big number for the wife and the kids, and we also own MYGAs, so all good. And I've also put it in my trust that I call this handcuffing your beneficiaries, kind of a side note. My 2 daughters, they're going to be okay. But when I die in the trust dictates that instead of them getting this huge lump sum, there's going to be 2 immediate annuities purchased, one for each of them, that provides a lifetime income stream that they can't get to the lump sum. Now, every month that hits in the bank account, they will cuss me out, and that's okay. As I say, you don't want them coming to the funeral, helicoptering in and driving off in a Lamborghini they just bought for cash. They're going to helicopter in and drive off in the Lamborghini, but you want to make them payments with that immediate annuity flow. So, a lot of you are out there, what am I doing with these wandering ambiguities of children that I have that just kind of float around? you set it up in the trust so when you pass, that's going to happen. And that's how I do it. That's how I tell people to do it all the time. All right. You say you're not in the markets anymore and you can't be 100% in annuities. I can because I can't sue myself. Legally, the annuity industry say 50 to 60% in annuities. But I'm staying the annuity man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sue myself. So yeah, that's what I do, and that I do get around that, and I apologize that you can't, but and that's what I do. I don't spread my. I'll tell you a good story. You know, I used to be a huge muni bond person, and back in the .com era, I was at Morgan Stanley, and AAA municipal bonds tax-free were at 6%, non-callable. AAA. I literally couldn't give them away. People are like, no, I want SGs. I want Global Crossing. I want, like, okay. I would love to buy good muni bonds, but they're not available anymore. I mean, the hedge funds and the PE guys coming in by the whole lot. Remember back in the day, you get your paper, remember papers? And you'd open it up and there'd be an announcement for a bond offering, you know, local water and utility bond, and you could buy them. Those were the days, man, back in the day. So I'd love to own municipal bonds, but you know, MYGAs I call annuity bonds. I think they're better than corporates, in my opinion. Obviously, I have lots in high yield money markets, but I don't do CDs because I do MYGAs instead. So I guess my full portfolio is high yield money markets spread all over the place. $1 quadrillion, yes, there is, Zeke, there is something called a quadrillion in MYGAs. I have life insurance, and then the growth stock I have is called the Annuity Man, ticker symbol TAM. So, yeah, it's a great growth stock. So, next. With the current situation with Sentinel Security and Atlantic Coast, they've had some problems, I think, last year too. Stinky, and I love that name. Stinky, I can't really talk about that on the video, okay, just legally, but would love to talk with you about it because obviously I know what's going on. Stan at theannuityman.com, or you can go to my site at theannuityman.com and book a call with me, and I'd be more than happy to talk about it. I typically don't talk about specific companies, but in this situation, I do know all you want me to know about that, and I'll share it with you. Next. Rick, what's that? Taguchi? Is that Taguchi? That is strong. I hope that's your last name. That'd be awesome. Will sellers of annuities at some point be required to be more honest? For example, they can be required to disclose the best estimated return. Obviously, they don't know the figure. Let me tell you something. You can't regulate morality and ethics. You know that. So I don't know if there's any way for the industry to do that. I wish there was. Hold on, go back. I want to read that. Disclosing the best estimated return on a fiat is like looking at the palm of your hand and counting the lines on it. That's a complete waste of colossal time. Well, I think this one could do this really well. It could really. Oh my Lord! Never buy an annuity for growth. Never buy an annuity for non-guarantee returns. They don't know the figure. They don't know jack. If they're talking about index returns, they have no idea what they're talking about. Index annuities, just to let you know, the indexes do not include dividends. And give an example, S&P 500, 54% of the returns are dividend based. I mean, this is a colossal waste of time for people to analyze index annuity returns. And I have friends that have created companies that do software for that, and I'm like, Lord, you guys should have done something like a game or something, or prediction markets. What's the rest of that question? My expected return on my FI is about 2%. I bought for the income, not growth. Good, you bought it for the income, not growth. There's 800 plus index option returns out there, and they're all designed to get 2 to 4%. That's the ugly truth. Well, Stan, this guy says the cap on this sucker's 10. Hey, Fred, okay, you only get to lock in those gains 1 day per year. The other 364 days you're an annuity eunuch. Look it up, eunuch. You can't do anything. It's just not going to work long term. I know what you've been shown. I know what you've been told. And for the last probably 10, 15 years, I've had a challenge out there to anybody to show me a back-tested number, like a projected indexed annuity number, that either came true exactly on the numbers that were shown or were better. No one's taking me up on it because it doesn't exist. Next. Again, I don't talk about specific companies, but everybody we work with and everybody I recommend, that means that I like their financials and my team has told me that they're good to work with. Let's put it like that. So if I'm recommending them, and there's hundreds that I recommend, that means they pass those 2 sniff tests. But they're big. They're a big company, good company. Next. J-Rod. See, that's a good name, Zeke. Zeke, if you had it all to do, like if you had a son, and then Zeke and his wife's like, she's like, Zeke, I needed another Hawaiian baby. And Zeke's like, I don't know, man. I'm like, Zeke, you can call him J-Rod. That'd be a great name. I can't pronounce your last name, but J-Rod. He's got one of those last names that's like, it's like all consonants. You're like, what? He's like, Zeke, okay, great. It's like, could they get that full name on your football jersey? Did it like surround the number? Like it goes like a half moon. And he scored. Zeke. Zeke was a football star. Baseball too, by the way, in Hawaii. Sometimes he walks in with those flower things on, like what are they called, lays or something? I want to get your opinion on how I plan to pay for my wife's and my own Medicare premiums. $250,000 MYGA that allows us to peel off interest. Yeah, you could do that. I always tell people, if you can live off the interest, don't buy a product for lifetime income. I mean, if you can get away with protecting the principal, just peeling the interest off and making that happen, then that's what you do. It's easy math, as you know. You just look at the math. But there's nothing wrong with lifetime income products. But I try to keep it simple. It's simple. If you can just peel off the interest, then peel off the interest. I had a guy call me the other day. He's like $12 million. I'm like, do I need a lifetime income stream? I'm like, what's your income needs? He told me like, nah. No. Why is this guy trying to sell me this? I don't know. Figure it out. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple. If the interest off of $250,000 or $500,000 or whatever pays those Medicare bills, then great, because then you never touch the principal. That's the lovely Christine, my wife, the queen. She just never wants to touch the principal. She came from rural Nebraska, where it's not the end of the world, but you can see it from there. Lived in a trailer, just tough upbringing, and she just doesn't want to lose a penny. Great. Now, she does allow me to do crazy things with the company, but they've seemed to work out, so she's okay with that. But like I said, we're all MYGA all the time, so we're not losing a penny. So next question. What options are available if you don't have a large lump sum? You're talking about putting money in over time? I don't know. A lot of it comes down to your age. Remember, if you're less than 55 years old, I'm going to ask you why you're looking at annuities. Period. But we'd have to get specific. Schedule a call with me. I would like to hear what you're trying to do, and there's ways to do it. You can add money to income riders. You can add money to deferred income annuities. You can. for future income at a future date. Maybe that's a solution. We'd be more than happy to help you with that. We don't promote that because we're not in that market for like the 401k person that's putting in X amount per month. But it is what it is. We're going to keep going, by the way. I mean, we're up on the hour, but as I tell people, I do this once a month, so we're going to take as much time as you want. Next question, Zeke. Could you help me understand if the nationwide, again, I'm going to ask everyone nicely to please stop with the specific companies, because I just can't legally do that without their permission to talk about their company legally. I'm not avoiding anything. I don't avoid anything in life. The scheduled call will go over it, but just schedule call. I can't, without Nationwide giving me the approval to talk about it, and I would never ask them to because I never talk about a specific product. And you say, well, Stan, I saw this guy the other day talking about a specific index annuity. All I'm telling you is what the rules are. And anyone that's talking about one product is not following the rules that I live by, is you shop all carriers for the highest contractual guarantee. It's not about one product. So more than happy to talk to you about it. Go to my site, the Annuity Man schedule call. Are firms required to produce, publish, and distribute 5490As to the product owner? I think so. I think that's legal. It's a form, tax form. I think so. They should be. Again, if you're having issues with that, we can help. But yeah, you either should be getting something hard mail, or you should be able to access it online with whoever you are with. Okay, next. Is it smart to change a traditional IRA into a Roth after you retire little by little when your tax bracket goes down? Evelyn, that's the argument, right? I mean, but again, it's math. You got to run the break-even number. Just don't get caught up in, well, I'm going to get tax-free everything in the future. Yeah, but you're paying a ton in taxes up front. Even incrementally, it's going to add up. The question is, why are you doing it? Are you doing it because you hate taxes? Because that's kind of a contradiction, because you're paying taxes to hate. You hate taxes, so you're going to pay taxes so you don't have to pay taxes. I had a gentleman call me the other day, and he was in his 70s. He goes, should I do a Roth? I'm like, for you personally, no. He goes, well, I'm doing it for a legacy. Okay. I'm okay with that. But just don't fall into the trap that, in the future, it's all going to be tax-free. Well, you're paying taxes up front. The answer to your question, though, is little by little is probably the best way to do it if you're going to do it. Next. Good afternoon, Stan. Hey, Thomas. Hey, Tom. I know you. What is the death benefit on a DIA if the owner dies before the income has started? Return of premium. Return of premium? No. That's a good question. With a deferred income annuity is nothing more than an immediate annuity that you defer. Once you defer past 1 year, it magically turns into a DIA, but it's the same structure. Return of premium is going to come back to you. So let's just say, let's use this example. You buy a deferred income annuity with income starting in 3 years, and you die year 2, and you put $300,000 in it, and you die year 2, your beneficiaries are going to get $300,000 back. They're not going to get $300,000 plus accrued interest. There is no accrued interest, all right? Keep going, Zeke. We're just going to rock and roll, man. No pun intended to the intro music. What is your opinion on long-term care annuities, especially if you cannot qualify? Well, there's some really bad sales pitches out there. There's index annuity gunslingers that'll say that they have long-term care. That's called confinement care. It's not long-term care. Long-term care is a health insurance product. There are guaranteed issue long-term care products, but they're a health insurance product. There's one person on the planet that I been using for 20 plus years, and refer him all of my long-term care issues. Be more than happy to send you his name. So email me, stan@theannuityman.com. But long-term care annuities are good. There's tax benefits. They're really good products, but it's a specialty. So anyone that's trying to say, well, you can get an upfront bonus and you can get market upside with no downside and you get long-term care. Okay, walk out. Eat the food first and then walk out, because that's garbage. So next. With the huge national debt, won't tax brackets go up? which will affect people's Social Security, which will be taxed at a higher rate if you don't move your traditional IRA into a Roth. My comment to that is, ... if the politicians don't change the rules. And you're like, Stan, how could they change the rules? Come on. I mean, you see what's happening in the country and some of the people that are getting elected. They might come back at us in the future and say, okay, Roths are tax-free, but if you use it for the environment, windmills, electric cars, no offense, Zeke, help, something to help the environment. They might do 5 things that are tax-free. I mean, you're putting a lot of faith in the government to not change the rules. But the answer to your question, in a perfect world where rules don't change, there's an argument for that. But again, you have to factor in, what's the break-even point? Does the math work? Why are you doing it? You doing it for you? Are you doing it for a legacy reason? It's not as static as that. I wish, but it's not. Next. I'm still working and plan on working for at least 1 more year. Good for you, Todd, to get to the finish line. Cool. I'm thinking of getting an annuity to cover my Social Security until I max out at 70, and then get the principal back. That's a MYGA. Okay. With the lifetime income products, single premium immediate annuities, deferred income annuities, qualified longevity annuity contracts, income riders, your income is a return of principal plus interest, and if you draw it down to 0, the annuity company keeps paying. You're saying, Stan, I want my cake and eat it too. Tell me where the cake is, Stanley. It's a MYGA. You peel off the interest off the top, and at the end of the duration, you have your principal back. It's the only way to do it. It might take a little bit more money, but that's the only way to do it. And anyone that shows you a non-guaranteed return scenario, to say, is it contractual guaranteed? If they say no, okay, no, I don't want that. I mean, you cannot buy potential. You just can't. Annuities are not growth products. I know the industry hates me for that, but they know I'm right. Down deep, they know I'm right. Next question. What's your overall opinion on indexed annuities? I was around 1995 when they're first introduced, and since then they've returned CD returns. They're CD products. We love them for the delivery system of the income rider, but to buy an index annuity standalone for growth, you're a fool. All you're doing is buying the agent a car. And I always tell people, if you buy the dream, you're going to own the contractual reality. Good news about index annuities, they're principal protection products. They're fixed annuities. You're not going to lose a penny, but you're not going to make the money you think you're going to make. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Again, we sell more than anyone as a delivery system for the income rider. But if you're hoping and dreaming that you're going to get market upside with no downside, market participation with principal protection, all those old catchphrases, you're the sucker at the table. You really are. If you want growth, if you want real market growth, don't buy an annuity. Annuities are contracts. Guy called me the other day, goes, well, I'm looking at these index annuities. I'd like to get about 7 to 11% annually. I'm like, you're a fool. You're a sucker. You're an idiot. Didn't go well, but I said, stop. You're going to make a mistake on your money. Don't do it. And you got to say, well, why is the top agent in the country who's been doing this forever, why isn't he on board with everybody else on index annuities? I don't know. Why? What do you think? What do you think? I tell the truth, man. And if you really want to dig in, I've written a book on it. If you go to my site at theannuityman.com, I have a fixed index annuity owner's manual that explains it all to the T. And if you read that, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's the facts. It's the truth. Next. Love the Z888. Thank you. Yes, getting an FIA primarily for lifetime income. My income is limited. Great. Just make sure, Jazz 888, to shop all carriers. If someone says to you, well, I've looked at all of these and this is the best one, full of crap. That person is full of crap. I mean, these are commodity products. You shop all carriers for the highest contractual guarantee, A+ or better for lifetime income. Go. I don't know what A means, Peter Douglas word, PDW. Both a legacy later life income play supplementing current lifetime income. I'm considering a D a joint with my son. So when he's 50, me 80, lifetime income can be used by me. Yes, you can do that. You can do joint life with your son or whoever young. Just remember, if you're doing joint life with that youngster, they're going to totally ignore you and look straight at the youngster and base the lifetime income on that person. But it is joint life, and when one of you passes, the income continues uninterrupted and unchanged. And remember, we can put a backstop on there so that if you both die together or early in the policy, then 100% of any unused money goes to the beneficiary. Someone asked me today, it's a good question, is how long, if I live to this many years, does the account go to zero? About 13, 14, 15. That's when the index annuity bad sales pitch comes in, because they'll say, well, the growth of the index annuity is going to offset the income coming out. Full of crap. I mean to tell you, that's a hope and a dream right there, and it never comes true. Period. Next. Would 100K 4.93-year MYGA outperform the market investment starting 3 years ago? Of course not. I mean, if someone said that, listen, market growth is market growth, but market growth is not annuities. Market growth is market growth, but market growth is not annuities. Market growth is market growth, but market growth is not annuities of any type. Anybody that said that's full of, if you want market growth, don't buy an annuity of any type. I don't care what it is. I don't care what you're shown. I don't care the back-tested number. I don't care about the stair step. That's just a bad sales pitch. That person should not be in the financial business. You're buying a CD. CD's not going to outperform the market. Come on, man. I'm sorry that you were told that, but I mean, there's some stupid people in the financial advisory business, just dumb as a box of hair. They'll say whatever it takes to sell you something. Next. Now, MYGA is set to renew in 90 days. You have to pass the annuity suitability at the renewal time. That's a good question. Depends on the carrier you're transferring to. Most of the time, no. So, we would be in touch with you 60 days prior, but most of the time, no. You would not have to pass the rigorous suitability. Obviously, the new company's going to get your application that we fill out with your instruction over the phone, and they're going to glance at it. But if you've come from an annuity to an annuity, it's typically a quick suitability. So answer that question. We'll help with that. As a couple in the early 80s, should we have an annuity? I like that question because there's no good answer other than you have to tell me what the goal is. Like, what do you want the money to contractually do? When do you want those contractual guarantees to start? Never ask that question to anybody, any agent, because they'll say, yeah, you need one, and I got the one for you. It's got a 42% upfront bonus. You get market upside with no downside and free long-term care, and you sign the paperwork, and you get none of that. Well, upfront bonus, but it's a joke. But the answer, my question to you is, what are you trying to do? Just because, should we get an annuity? I don't know. Do you need lifetime income? If you say no, okay, great. Do you need principal protection? No? Well, then you don't need an annuity. But if you say I need principal protection, okay, maybe a MYGA to combine with the CDs you might have. But you'd have to tell me more, and you're going to thank me for making you tell me more. Because annuities solve for things. Remember the acronym PIL? P, principal protection. I, income for life. L, legacy. The other L, long-term care. Got to choose one of those. You just can't say, should I get an annuity? I don't know. Should you get bowling shoes? I don't know. Do you bowl? I mean, get granular. Take the plane down from 30,000. Bring it down and come pick me up. And then we'll fly back up and we'll talk about it. All right? Got to have a conversation. That's a dangerous question in this world. Next. Can annuities help reduce RMDs? Yeah, QLACs, qualified longevity annuity contracts. You can put money in there and then money in the QLAC. Current time of this taping, check the date because it will go up in the future. $210,000, so that 210 is not used as part of your calculation for RMD. So the answer is yes. Qualified longevity annuity contracts. Done videos on them. Written a book on it. So yeah, and available if you want me. So next, they keep coming, Zeke. They just keep coming. It's like when McDonald's opens in the morning in Hawaii and people want the Spamalola, Spamalahu. What do you think about buffer ETFs with no surrender charge? Are they better than annuity with a surrender charge? Man, we're talking about apples and oranges, player. Come on, man. We're talking about market products and non-correlated products, non-market products, annuities. Plus, talking about annuity with a surrender charge, which type are you talking about? I mean, pretty broad. My comment to you is you want market returns, stay with the ETF. You want guarantees, go with the annuities. Don't make it difficult. Next. Is that it, Zeke? That's fantastic. Listen, wonderful. We'll do this again next month. Hopefully, God willing, my plane didn't hit the mountain. And if it does, it's been a good run. Again, go to my site, theannuityman.com, run quotes, download books, and schedule a call with me, yours truly, Stan the Annuity Man. I'll call right on the dot, and we'll have a 30-minute conversation. Appreciate you joining us. See you next time.
Thanks for watching.